Have you ever wondered how wisdom itself could take form and step into the world as a living goddess, shaping the fate of gods and mortals alike? On Mount Olympus, clouds drift like silver curtains, and lightning rests in the hands of Zeus, the mighty ruler whose power is known across heaven and earth. The air hums with energy, a timeless majesty surrounding Zeus. Yet behind it lies a secret, older than Olympus, waiting to be told in whispers and echoes. It is the story of Athena, goddess of wisdom, strategy, and calm judgment, whose birth marked the dawn of clarity among gods and mortals. This tale is not of battles or storms, but of destiny, unfolding in silence, in ways that not even the gods themselves could predict. For hidden within Zeus was a spark unlike any other, a seed of brilliance, a mystery that would soon take radiant form before the eyes of Olympus. Out of stillness, like the breath before a thunderclap, came the weight of prophecy, the stirring of unseen forces, and the promise of wisdom yet unborn. From that silence would rise Athena, child of thought and might, clothed in light, crowned with clarity, the living embodiment of wisdom. And so, the story begins. Imagine the endless sky, painted in gold and storm, where Zeus, ruler of gods, sits upon his high throne of Olympus. His voice commands thunder, his gaze bends the will of mortals, and his presence steadies the balance of the cosmos. Yet even Zeus carries the silent pull of destiny, a current unseen but deeply felt within the heart of the mighty king. From the shining halls of Olympus, he rules with authority, surrounded by gods who look to him as their leader and protector. Mortals offer prayers with trembling hands, knowing the clouds above are not just winds, but the veil of Zeus's great realm. To most, he seems eternal and unshakable, but those who listen closely know he is not untouched by whispers of prophecy. Long ago, a prophecy was spoken. A child born of Zeus and Metis, goddess of wisdom, would surpass all expectations. Some whispered the child would rival Zeus himself, while others believed the child would bring balance beyond the reach of thunder. Metis was unlike any other, her wisdom calm and clear, guiding choices with quiet strength, admired by gods and mortals alike. Her union with Zeus was storm meeting stillness, power meeting thought, and from it destiny began to weave its subtle threads. Within Metis lay the spark of creation, blooming not in war, but in dawn, gentle yet profound in its unfolding. Within Zeus grew wonder and unease, for the prophecy spoke of transformation that no lightning or weapon could drive away. Life in Olympus continued in bright rhythm, gods feasting and singing, while mortals prayed for rain, sunlight, and justice. Yet within, Zeus stirred something profound. Not fear, not pain, but brilliance gathering, pressing at the edges of his being. At times, he walked alone along the peaks, the wind tugging his robes, lightning sleeping softly within his powerful hand. He gazed across the earth, sensing a new chapter near, the prophecy no longer words, but a pulse within his veins. In solitude, he felt less like a king commanding the skies, and more like a vessel of something greater than himself. Fate was weaving its design, silent yet certain, and Zeus knew the moment of change was drawing closer with each breath. Soon Olympus would witness brilliance breaking forth, not in storm or battle, but in a light no one could deny. Athena was coming, born of strength and thought, clothed in radiance, crowned with wisdom, unlike any goddess ever known. Prophecies are like rivers, flowing quietly at first, but shaping the land and guiding destiny with unrelenting force. One prophecy drifted across Olympus, whispered among immortals, echoing in the timeless halls of fate. It spoke of wisdom, of strength, of a child born not from storm or earth, but from thought and divine power. This prophecy began with Metis, goddess of wisdom, whose calm mind and clever counsel were sought by all gods. She was steady, precise, and serene, her presence like a quiet river that could bring peace in times of chaos. The prophecy said her child with Zeus would be unlike any other, born with wisdom and an inner guiding light. This child would guide mortals and immortals alike, bringing clarity where storms and wars could not. To some, this prophecy was a blessing, a promise that Olympus would gain not just strength, but true guidance. To others, it stirred unease, for such a child might shift the balance of power among the gods forever. Zeus could not ignore it, for a prophecy is not a foe lightning can strike, but truth whispered by fate. Though his reign was secure, Zeus felt the stirrings of something he could not control within the web of destiny. Metis did not fear the prophecy. To her, it was a promise, not a threat, a vision of divine harmony. She believed in the child, carrying assurance that wisdom and strength would unite in extraordinary balance. But among the gods, whispers grew louder. Would this child rival Zeus, or bring balance beyond thunder and storm? Zeus walked in solitude, gazing at sky and earth, feeling both pride and caution in equal measure. For even kings must respect the hand of fate, and Zeus sensed the prophecy already moving toward fulfillment. Olympus was charged with anticipation. Gods feasted and laughed, yet beneath it lingered a quiet awareness of change. Zeus saw not a rival, but a vision, a child whose wisdom might outlast storms and guide all creation. The stage was set. Fate had spoken. Metis carried the promise, and Olympus awaited the extraordinary child. The prophecy was no longer a whisper, but a heartbeat, echoing louder each day, calling the world toward Athena's birth. In the world of the gods, few shone with the quiet brilliance of Metis, whose strength was found not in force but in thought. She was not a goddess of thunder or sea, but of foresight, counsel, and reason, shaping destinies with gentle wisdom. When uncertainty clouded Olympus, the gods sought her voice, for her clarity could calm storms and resolve quarrels. She was the balance of power, the silent force of insight, a presence that steadied divine hearts with reason. Where Zeus embodied might, Metis embodied thought. Together, they were storm and stillness, thunder and calm. Zeus admired her deeply. Her mind sharpened his decisions. Her patience tempered the weight of his storms. To stand beside Metis was to feel calm after thunder, light breaking through clouds, silence that spoke louder than words. Their bond was not only union, but a merging of worlds, power and wisdom, might and foresight in rare harmony. From their unity, destiny stirred. The prophecy of a child arose, not from conflict, but from balance and clarity. Metis welcomed the prophecy. To her, it was not fear but light, a promise of brilliance yet to come. She believed their child would embody both parents, wisdom and strength, clarity and power in equal measure. Others whispered doubts. They feared a goddess who might see through schemes and unravel truths hidden beneath pride. Power often fears insight, for wisdom reveals what force tries to conceal. Yet Metis remained unshaken. Her faith was steady, her presence calm. She carried the quiet assurance that dawn always follows night. Zeus, however, felt a heavier weight. He loved Metis, yet the prophecy echoed like thunder in his thoughts. To love her was to stand close to destiny itself, and Zeus wondered what their child might mean for his reign. Yet still he was drawn to her. Her words were clear as crystal. Her smile brought gentle reflection and peace. Their moments together were quiet, shared silence, soft words, a glance on Olympus that felt deeper than thunder. In Metis's presence, prophecy felt less like a storm and more like a seed, ready to bloom into wonder. She was already a goddess of beginnings, of clever plans and wisdom that endured like roots of an eternal tree. Beneath the feasts of gods and the prayers of mortals, Métis carried not fear but promise wisdom waiting to be born. It was in her, calm and certain, that the destiny of Athena first began to stir. Zeus ruled Olympus with thunder and might, yet even gods cannot escape the whispers of fate. The prophecy lingered in his heart, louder than storms, heavier than the clouds he carried. He had seen fate fulfilled before, each vision carving truth beyond the reach of lightning. Though he loved Metis deeply, fear took root, shadowing his joy with quiet doubt. The prophecy spoke of a child of wisdom, yet beneath it lay hints of challenge. Zeus recalled Kronos, his father, who swallowed his children to resist being overthrown. The cycle of power lived in the memory of gods, rising and falling like tides. Zeus broke the chain once, but fate flows forward, a river no one can stop. What if this child outshone thunder, enduring longer than storm and lightning? The thought weighed upon him more heavily than the vault of the sky itself. He wandered Olympus in silence, carrying both pride and dread in his heart. The gods whispered as he passed, curious what destiny would mean for their king. Hera observed with calm pride. Poseidon dismissed the tale, and Hades stayed silent. Métis remained serene, carrying promise, not fear, speaking wisdom as light in darkness. She reminded Zeus that wisdom was a companion, not an enemy of strength. Yet Zeus wrestled within, torn between trust in love and doubt in fate. Could a king share his throne with wisdom instead of storm and thunder? Night stretched long as Zeus gazed at stars, searching for signs of truth. Each flash of lightning across the sky felt like destiny asking its question. The prophecy was no longer distant. It echoed like a heartbeat, drawing closer. Though Olympus feasted and laughed, its king carried unease in silence. Athena was not yet born, but her presence was already stirring in fate. In quiet moments, Zeus admitted a hidden truth within his heart. He did not fear the child herself, but the change she would bring. Strength guided by wisdom might challenge the very heart of his reign. Perhaps this was not a downfall, but a transformation he could not avoid. The story of gods is always movement, never stillness, always change. And so, the prophecy breathed, alive, shaping Olympus before her birth. Soon it would no longer be a whisper, but a truth revealed to all. Days on Olympus shone brightly, yet for Zeus each sunrise carried the quiet weight of prophecy. The golden light touched the halls of gods, but within their king, shadows of doubt remained. Fate whispered to him with every thunderclap, louder than any voice in his court. The prophecy was not a tale, it was a presence that lived deep within his heart. Metis moved gracefully, calm and radiant, carrying no fear of what was foretold. She saw destiny as a gift, a light meant to guide, never as a burden to fear. But Zeus could not share her serenity. His crown pressed heavier with each thought. A king did not live only for himself. His choices shaped gods, mortals, and harmony. He stood between two truths, his love for Metis and fear of their unborn child. The memory of Kronos haunted him, a warning carved into the history of gods. Zeus had broken that chain once, yet doubt still stirred in the silence of night. Often, he walked Olympus alone, stars above him shining like eternal witnesses. One night, beneath silver moonlight, he touched the earth, steady beneath his hand. He whispered, I love her, yet I fear what fate will bring through her." The wind carried his words away, but the weight of them stayed within him. Metis, wise and gentle, sensed his distance and looked into his troubled eyes. "You fear shadows," she said softly, "but wisdom does not overthrow it, guides." Her truth reached him, yet fear is stubborn, and kingship weighs heavier than love. He smiled, but the storm within him rumbled, unquiet, unbroken by her words. Olympus thrived with music and feasts, yet felt fragile, waiting for unseen change. The gods laughed, unaware their king bore the burden of a fateful choice. Zeus wondered, could prophecy be silenced, bent, or shaped to his own will? Could he keep his love, yet protect his throne from destiny's grasp? He sought no counsel, kept his silence, fearing to give voice to doubt. Thunderclouds of decision gathered within him, heavy with love and fear. His resolve was not of malice, but of duty to guard Olympus from change. Zeus chose to protect his rule, believing fate could not be allowed to win. The choice was unspoken, yet already destiny shifted, answering silently in kind. For each thought and step carried Olympus closer to Athena's birth. Though he feared it, fate flowed on, unmoved, unstoppable, certain in its course. Olympus still gleamed with laughter, yet beneath its light, Zeus carried his storm. Within his heart lay a decision that would change gods and mortals forever. Days on Olympus gleamed with light, yet within Zeus a silent storm brewed unseen. His laughter rang at feasts, thunder rolled across skies, but his thoughts wandered elsewhere. The prophecy whispered constantly, shaping each word and each glance he gave Metis. She stood beside him, calm and radiant, never doubting, never fearing what was ahead. Zeus could not rest, haunted by the downfall of his father, Kronos the tyrant. That memory was carved in fear, a king undone by the child he could not control. Zeus vowed not to repeat it, yet his choices began to mirror that same fear. He convinced himself it was duty, not malice, a burden he bore for Olympus. Alone, he pondered endlessly how to keep love for Metis and protect his throne. He walked the peaks at night, lightning silent, while thoughts roared louder than storms. At last, a hidden plan formed, unseen, unknown, a choice only he could make. Zeus would not abandon Metis, but would claim her wholly within his own being. With gentle words and tender acts, he drew her close, offering trust and devotion. When her heart was open, when her gaze steady, he spoke of eternal unity. He promised not division, but wholeness. Two beings joined into one inseparable soul. Metis, trusting in love and harmony, resisted nothing, believing in peace, not fear. In silence, Zeus swallowed her, taking her into himself, desperate to guard his reign. It was not cruelty nor anger, but fear wrapped in the duty of kingship. The skies did not rage. Olympus did not tremble. It happened quietly, unseen. Metis vanished from sight, but not from life. She lived on within Zeus's being. He felt her presence instantly, her calm voice, her wise counsel echoing in his mind. She had not disappeared. She had become part of him, eternal, inseparable, alive. Zeus ruled outwardly, unchanged, still king, still master of Olympus's golden throne. The gods wondered where Metis had gone, whispers rising, but no questions were asked. The fires of feasts still burned. Mortals prayed. Olympus gleamed as though unchanged. Yet only Zeus knew the truth, that wisdom dwelled within him, silent and alive. And with Metis, the prophecy remained, stirring quietly, unbroken, waiting for its time. For she carried a child, And though hidden, destiny could not be swallowed away. Within Zeus, Athena stirred, her spirit alive, awaiting her moment of birth. Zeus believed he had conquered fate, yet prophecy only shifted, never disappeared. What he swallowed was not silence, but the seed of change he could not stop. Wisdom cannot be hidden forever, and destiny cannot be undone by fear. The story was far from over. It had only just begun. Time passed quietly on Olympus, though silence in the heavens was always fragile. The gods kept their feasts, mortals prayed, and the seasons flowed in harmony. But within Zeus, something new began to stir, silent yet impossible to ignore. It was not thunder nor fire, but a pressure rising like a hidden tide. At first, he dismissed it, too proud to admit weakness before gods or men. Yet each day the weight grew heavier, not sorrow, but something alive within. It was Metis, her wisdom moving, her spirit whispering softly, seeking its voice. Zeus felt her counsel in dreams, in winds, in thoughts that were not his. And deeper still, another presence pulsed, alive with destiny and divine purpose. This was not Metis alone, but her child, waiting, growing, pressing toward life. The prophecy stirred, and the king of gods grew restless and uneasy. Lightning sparked unbidden. Storms gathered when his focus slipped for moments. He laughed louder at feasts, boasting boldly, masking the truth within himself. But the secret grew, and his being carried the weight of prophecy. The gods began to notice Hera watching, Apollo murmuring, Hermes whispering change. None dared confront him, yet whispers spread like leaves in restless wind. At night, Zeus walked alone, hand pressed to his brow in silence. Within him, Athena's spirit strengthened, her voice forming with outspoken words. She was wisdom unborn, courage inevitable, a force waiting to be revealed. Zeus was torn between awe and dread, unable to deny destiny's fire. He had swallowed Metis to escape prophecy, yet it burned within his heart. The more he resisted, the stronger her presence pressed from within. His head throbbed like lightning, seeking release, fire demanding to break free. Still, he told no one, hiding his burden, a king bound to silence. Destiny, however, cannot stay hidden. It always finds a path to emerge. One evening, as golden light spilled across the horizon, the change came. A brilliance surged through him. Not storm, but the pure fire of creation. He staggered, clutching his head, wisdom itself demanding release at last. Metis's calm voice whispered within him, "It is time." Zeus understood the child would not wait. Prophecy would not bend. Something greater than him stirred, and Olympus held its breath in awe. The gods sensed change, powerless to halt what destiny had set in motion. Within Zeus, Athena's birth drew near, inevitable as dawn's first light. The world of gods and mortals stood at the edge of revelation, and mighty Zeus could do nothing but endure the storm inside him. For the storm was no longer his, it belonged to wisdom and destiny. Athena was coming, and the story of Olympus was about to change forever. The skies over Olympus fell silent, as though the heavens themselves awaited change. Zeus sat on his throne, his brow heavy, his hand pressed tight to his head. For days the pressure grew unbearable, a fire no storm could ever quench. The king of gods, unshaken by battles, now struggled in quiet, unseen agony. It was no wound nor curse, but wisdom itself pressing to burst into light. The gods gathered in whispers, eyes filled with wonder and fear of destiny. Hera's gaze sharpened. Apollo murmured of fate, while Hermes spoke of change. Hephaestus was summoned, his divine hammer glowing with the fire of creation. Zeus, voice strained, commanded him to release the storm locked within. With a mighty strike, Hephaestus touched Zeus's brow, splitting it with precision. From that wound came no pain, but a radiant blaze of brilliance. Athena emerged fully grown, armored, her spear raised with divine strength. She shone with wisdom and courage, born not in weakness, but in splendor. Her eyes gleamed with clarity. Her calm presence carried timeless authority. No crime marked her birth, only the silence of purpose fulfilled. The gods stood in awe, stunned by a birth unlike any before. From the mind of Zeus, wisdom itself had taken eternal form. Athena bowed to her father, not as a child, but a goddess complete. She honored him with grace, her spirit bright with independence and resolve. Zeus gazed in wonder, pride replacing the fear that once haunted him. He had swallowed Metis to escape prophecy, yet gained a radiant daughter. The prophecy brought not ruin, but a goddess beside his golden throne. Athena would shape gods and mortals with wisdom, courage, and strategy. She guided heroes in trials, kings in councils, mortals in their struggles. Her wisdom tempered war with justice. Her courage balanced power with compassion. Not just Zeus's daughter, she became Olympus's beacon of reason and strength. Mortals revered her, built temples, whispered prayers, and sought her guidance. Athens would rise in her name, its walls strong with her spirit. Her name echoed across centuries, not as war alone, but as wisdom. Her story was not of fear, but of light born from transformation. Zeus had feared prophecy, yet it gave the world a goddess divine. From silence came wisdom, from struggle light, from fear a destiny fulfilled. Athena's birth marked not an ending, but countless stories yet to unfold. Where wisdom shines and courage endures, Athena's spirit forever lives on.